This video features potential spoilers for classic FF7, FF7 Remake, Rebirth, Crisis Core, and FF10. First we will map evidence of the devs' intentions onto the structure of FF7. Then we will dive into my full predictions for the final chapter of the trilogy. For an understanding of the evidence I used to make these predictions, please watch part 1 of this series or the core theory videos that can be found on my channel. Mapping the story with predictors. Before we dive into our predictions for part 3, let's map out the key points that I will be using as a foundation for my predictions. FF7's classic story, which forms the A-plot of the R trilogy. This forms the structural backbone of the game. Little to nothing of this will actually change. The B-plot, which contains most of the new story elements. The devs have expressed great interest in Cloud's stage of grief in classic FF7, Advent Children, and at the end of Rebirth. I believe we will explore and move through the 5 stages of grief in part 3, which map very well onto the original story. These are denial, anger, negotiation, depression, and acceptance. The core themes of the game being hopes and dreams, destiny, accepting death, life and death. The sleep schedule of the original game. Any time in the story that a character will fall asleep. This will create an opportunity to switch from the lived world to the dream world where Aerith exists. Cait Sith's fortunes have proven to be accurate. He makes additional predictions during the interludes of Loveless. All of his fortunes are important guides for predicting the plot. The Loveless poem gives us a detailed description of the ending that we are moving towards. Sephiroth's battle plan. We must analyse Sephiroth's plan and all of the logical steps he must take to succeed. His goal is to create an alternate timeline by manipulating Cloud into providing assistance, isolating Cloud within that new timeline and preventing Tifa from interfering. He has attempted to assassinate her twice now. Meteor must impact to destroy the primary chosen dream reality, allowing Sephiroth to convince the planet to switch to the new open-ended reality he has created where he saves everyone forever. Let's do a checklist of the actions he has already taken and still needs to take in order to pull this off. Destroy the Arbiter of Fate. Open up the dream worlds. Kill Aerith. Create a dream world that contains Aerith. Nullify the white materia. This prevents Holy from being summoned and also prevents Aerith's dream worlds being connected to the primary world. Permanently extend the lifespan of Aerith's dream world. Neutralize Cloud, removing him from the primary world, getting him on side. Distract Rufus. The party can't escape on the Highwind. Summon Meteor. Destroy the Lifestream's memories of Nibel. Distract Rufus again to protect the barrier. Corrupt the Lifestream with Dark Whispers so it sides with him at the moment of judgment. Use Meteor to destroy Gaia's primary dream and switch to Sephiroth's new one.
ドキドキこうワクワク不安も感じてもらいながら、最終的にどう我々がそう答えを出すのかっていうところを、楽しんでもらう方が今回のリメイクのプロジェクトとしては確実にいい結末になるだろうっていうところで
よりありがたいというかより嬉しいことなのでどんどんやっていただきたいんですけど僕自身はどんどんやっていただきたいんですけど僕自身は
Part 1. Denial. I believe the opening of the game will aim to place Cloud, and by extension the player, into a state of denial. I see 2 major approaches to this. We could start by focusing on Cloud and his party, moving through Icicle Inn, snowboarding down the slopes, Cloud having a great time, the rest of the group looking on in horror. We will see a mixture of dreams where Cloud communicates with Aerith, he's meeting her in another world, and hallucinations induced by Jenova egging him on, creating a confusing push and pull. In this version, the true nature of Aerith's dream world would be obscured from the player, keeping them confused and in denial regarding her death. We may even see more of Zack initially, on a quest to meet the party. stowing away on the Highwind and finally getting a big reveal of what is going on as he meets up with Aerith instead of Cloud at the Northern Crater. Alternatively, a more impactful approach would be to cold open in the dream world with the player in control of Aerith. This would be a shock to the majority of players, even those who expect her to still play some small part in the story. It would no doubt cause immediate ripples in the community. This will position most players into a state of denial, believing that this is a resurrection game. The tactility of controlling her will make her feel very much alive and savable. We will agree with Cloud's delusion. She's alive, she's over there, I just played as her, she can be saved. A mixture of both of these approaches may also work. For now, I will run with the more direct variant. I find this approach slightly more interesting, though it could also lie somewhere between the two. I believe denial and confusion will still be the intended state of the player up until we hand over the black materia. Let's try to predict how this hypothetical scenario would play out. With Aerith guiding the party, it is unlikely that she would want to go anywhere near Sephiroth and the Northern Crater. A visible rift in the sky may have the whole party on edge. Aerith will be keeping the true state of things from them. Cloud will most likely be drawn north, separating from the party and going alone. This version of Cloud is most likely the robed version we've seen in Visions, heading north to the reunion. The party will want to head north in the tiny Bronco to pursue Cloud, stopping in the face of stormy weather. We will stay at Icicle Inn. Here, Aerith will learn about her father firsthand and see footage of him for the first time. An ideal opportunity for a tutorial section would be the encounter with Shinra troops and Elena before heading to the ski slopes. The party will no doubt be talking about what they plan to do once they have Cloud back and all of this trouble is over, painting a vision of an idealized future with everyone still together. Aerith will bite her lip. This will be bittersweet to her. We can then head down the slopes as a party, a little concerned for Cloud, but still able to enjoy skiing as Aerith. This sequence will finally make tonal sense, whiting out at the end of the ski slope. We cut back to the real world. Cloud and the party flying the tiny Bronco into a storm. Cloud recklessly insisting we press on to the northern cave. We crash land on the Great Glacier, forced to press forward on foot. The party is miserable, grieving, cold. Cloud disconnected from the party, possibly unable to synergize with them in combat. That would be a nice way to express the state of the group through gameplay. Alternatively, Aerith and the party never head north, in which case we go to sleep as her elsewhere and wake up as Cloud at Icicle Inn. Part 2. Anger. As we approach the cliffs of Gaia and the descent into the Northern Crater, this would be an opportune moment to explore the second stage of grief, anger. We will no doubt see an increase in visions from Sephiroth taunting Cloud and the player, questioning what really happened, testing your bonds with the party, inciting us to anger. Cloud will lash out at Sephiroth, the party, visions of Aerith, and himself. This will continue up until after the fight with Genova Death. It will by this point have become apparent to Tifa that Cloud still thinks Aerith is alive. Sephiroth will reveal that Cloud isn't who he believes he is, and the full extent of his failure to save Aerith. This may inspire further anger until Cloud notices Tifa's reaction. This will be Cloud's breaking point. Cloud will hand over the black materia, the crater will collapse as the weapons begin to move, the party will escape with Shinra on the Highwind, leaving Cloud behind. If Aerith and her alternate party make it to the Northern Crater, they too will be forced to leave Cloud behind as Sephiroth needs his body. Zack may have stowed away on the Highwind and end up meeting the party here. Part 3. Bargaining, Negotiation. The third stage of grief is bargaining or negotiation. The party will escape Junon. Beef between Scarlet and Yuffie has been well established, so I predict that this chapter will focus primarily on Tifa and Yuffie. As a Wutayan noble, she may be scapegoated and placed in the execution chamber in place of Tifa. As a ninja, this makes her escape more plausible. Or, Yuffie may be instrumental in Tifa's escape. Alternatively, Yuffie may be paraded as a hostage and potential bargaining chip with Wutai. Negotiation. The slap fight with Scarlet may be unchanged, or we may perform it as Yuffie, only for Tifa to swoop in and end the fight. The party will most likely head to Wutai directly from Junon. We will focus in on the initial skirmishes over the Magnus materia between Wutai and Shinra. Negotiation on the battlefield as battle lines are drawn up. If we locate Cloud's body and Tifa splits off from the party, the Fellowship will effectively be broken, possibly triggering Yuffie to steal the party's materia, resulting in further negotiation of objectives. Don Corneo will no doubt be trying to leverage the conflict to his favour in Wutai. His choice of wife, either Yuffie or Elena, would align him with either Shinra or Wutai. Negotiation. The Turks will most likely be spying in Wutai, pretending to be a group or family on vacation. We will negotiate with them to put a stop to the Don. Meanwhile, Cloud will travel to the edge of creation with Sephiroth. Here he will reveal that he used us to create an alternate world where Aerith still lives, that he now needs our help to permanently extend the life of that world. If we help him, he will take us there to be reunited. Negotiation with fate itself, an attempt to change both Aerith's fate, Sephiroth's fate, and the fate of the planet. Sephiroth will be playable again here. Cloud and the player will agree with this. We will align with and experience this stage of grief, negotiating with fate through storytelling and gameplay. This is where 7 seconds till the end will occur, as we avert the death of the planet. I initially predicted that Cloud and Sephiroth would experience a falling out over Aerith possessing a white materia, putting his plan at risk, resulting in Sephiroth casting Cloud into the lifestream and cutting us off from that ideal future. This would get Cloud back into his comatose body and tie up with my expectations for the next stage, depression. However, my understanding has evolved thanks to someone else. In a Dashing Dave video, Ultima 7865 had a similar but more complete theory than mine. Sephiroth would definitely take Cloud all the way to that alternate world. Cloud would remain there in his delusion with no desire to leave, a master of his own illusory world. This being the reason that Cloud's Mako-poisoned body is in a coma in the first place. He's not there, he's in a dream world. This is Sephiroth's plan to neutralize Cloud and also save him as well. I feel dumb for not piecing this together myself, so credit where credit is due. If Zack didn't meet Aerith's party at the Northern Cave, he will most likely meet them at Junon. Aerith will travel aboard the Highwind. They will eventually find our Cloud inhabiting this world's body. Aerith may well attempt to convince Cloud that he needs to go back. In the primary world, Tifa will either fall into the lifestream or fall asleep and meet Cloud here. I will explain how she does this in the next section. The setup for this has been telegraphed and is very important. Tifa will also assist Aerith in negotiating with Cloud to pull him out of this world. When she is successful, I predict Sephiroth will go to war with the party in Aerith's world, possibly killing Cloud and Tifa there as punishment and to prevent the two parties from coordinating between worlds. It is very possible that we see multiple or all of the main party members in that world killed off, destroying any hope of the ideal world these characters described regarding their future and dreams. Part 4. Depression. I am unsure about the location of Fort Condor and Mount Corel within the story. The devs have suggested we may have some choice over the order in which we explore the world. This may affect some or all of the Magnus Materia questlines. I can see them playing out anywhere from the stage of negotiation through to acceptance, in their original order or reordered. In Intergrade Intermission, Lord Godo is revealed to be a drunkard who is currently in jail. That sounds like a man who has seen his dream for his nation die and is currently in a state of depression. Regarding the livestream sequence, there is a huge Chekhov's gun involving Tifa. In Traces of Two Pasts, a great deal of attention is drawn to Tifa's scar and her recovery involving highly experimental skin graft technology provided by Shinra R&D. Not suspicious at all. We also see her vision glitch, much like Cloud's during Aerith's death scene. Before the credits roll in Rebirth, we see a scene with the weapons fighting Dark Whispers in the livestream. In the background of this sequence, we can see Tifa's family home, the water tower, and the rope bridge. The Black Whispers are laying siege to the Lifestream's collective memory of Nibel and/or Cloud and Tifa's lives. The weapons were showing this to Tifa on her first visit. I believe the devs will follow through on this threat, and these memories within the Lifestream will have been destroyed, rewritten, or blocked off by the time Tifa brings Cloud back here in the prime reality. Meteor is in the sky, weapons are on the rampage, the world fully at war, Cloud in a coma, the Lifestream corrupted by more and more Black Whispers, cut off from the dream world with Aerith, that dream torn apart, the Lifestream memory of Nibel destroyed, with no path to restoring Cloud. All hope lost. Depression, depression, depression. The lowest possible moment. Part 5. Acceptance. But we know this story. It's time to turn things around. Tifa's experimental skin graft and her static vision at the Forgotten Capital imply that she has J cells, utilised within Shinra's skin graft technology. I bet it will be revealed earlier that her scar is perfectly healed and no longer visible due to J cell restoration. The scar was an illusion in Tifa's head to disrupt the party and make the player doubt her. I never doubted you, Tifa. Not for a second. I believe it is a machination of fate that gave Tifa J cells. I doubt Sephiroth set them up. It results in her being a huge threat to his plans, making her the only person who could pull Cloud back from the dream world by dreamwalking there herself. This is why he made futile attempts to assassinate her twice in Rebirth. So, how will Cloud and Tifa restore their memories? The Lifestream transcends time. J cells are capable of transmitting and communicating through time once submerged in the Lifestream. It's how Sephiroth communes across time. Cloud and Tifa will likely view the Nibel incident through Zack's eyes. He has J cells. This is why Tifa's childhood memories had to be moved to earlier in the game. Neither her nor Cloud had J or S cells as children. We would be unable to view them this way. Tifa will guide Cloud back. He will regain trust in Tifa and himself and remember who he is. We will see the real Cloud. He will have a heart-to-heart with the team. I even predict that the name of his Punisher mode will change, hopefully to Defender or Bodyguard mode. His sword grip possibly more like Zack's than Sephiroth's now. We may now wrap up the submarine section and Rocket Town if they are still present. Cloud is restored to his true self. It's time to finish facing up to reality and move completely towards acceptance. In this section of the story, I believe we will see each major character story resolved with some form of acceptance, possibly related to the inheritance of a dream given new form through its new owner. This may also play into each character's level 4 limit break and/or ultimate weapon. Barret's arc will most likely end in Corel, with him and the townspeople finally coming to terms with and accepting their past. It's possible that we saw the children of Corel inheriting their parents' prejudice towards Barret in Rebirth, but we worked towards rectifying this. Catastrophe was downgraded to be Barret's level 2 limit break in Remake. What will his new level 4 be called, and what will it tell us about him? Yuffie's father will move to accept the death of his dream for Wutai when he realises it has been reborn through Yuffie, who is fighting for and ready to wear the mantle of her generation's dream for their nation. Cid will realise his dream aboard the Shinra No. 26. If his arc was that of a man who had already accepted the death of his dream, then this may show us that our dreams can be reborn again or returned to us in unexpected ways once we let go of them. Sometimes we are only free to notice new opportunities once we stop focusing on the past. Alternatively, we may see a man who swept his feelings under the rug and did not fully come to terms with the death of his dream. In a similar sense, he will realise that his dream was still out there, just in an unexpected form, born from unpredictable events. Tifa will either meet Zangan or find his grave. I believe we will likely get to duel him, allowing Tifa to demonstrate how she has adapted Zangan's style into one of her own, as stated in Traces of Two Pasts. Zangan's dream, reborn with new and greater form in a new generation, surpassing what came before. Overcoming this challenge will most likely be how she perfects her form and first executes Final Heaven. This quest might be optional. In classic FF7, during Feelings from the Heart of Every Place, Red meets with Bugenhagen one last time before he passes away. Red does not have the heart to share the truth of this with those around him, claiming Bugenhagen packed his bags for one last adventure. Red appears to be in the denial stage, unable to speak the truth of the situation. I do not expect this to change. Red already accepted the responsibility of understanding and protecting the planet, taking up his father's promise to aid the Gi, as well as his eventual role as Watcher of the Veil. I'm not sure what we will explore with Cait Sith and Reeve. It may intersect with Chadley and explore the transmission of knowledge and hopes in the connected digital age. I'm not sure that Vincent and Lucretia will fully move towards acceptance during this game. Sephiroth's defeat may aid them both. Kairi will no doubt inherit her grandmother's sense of communal justice, fusing it with her own belligerence, flair, and ambition. Beck's boys will probably inherit Don Corneo's slum empire. I believe Johnny, Leslie, Madame M, Chocobo Billy, Chocobo Sam will likely all have their stories end in line with these themes. Legendary Miz had some similar thoughts on how these arcs would wrap up, and how they would tie to Cloud asking everyone to find their reason for fighting. The Magnus Materia quest chain, if it's still important this time around, may bring our involvement in the war to an end. It will be time for the party to learn what exactly has been going on, what Sephiroth's true plan is, and everything Aerith has done and is still doing to stop him. Here, we will most likely head to Bone Village and go on a quest for the key to the Ancients. If we don't see Aerith's death and burial during the livestream sequence to recover Cloud, this will be the opportune moment to explore it at the Forgotten Capital. Let it breathe, and let us see our heroes finally able to mourn together as a complete group. We will learn that Sephiroth has doomed infinite worlds in order to corrupt and twist the livestream to align with him. Aerith is cultivating infinite positive worlds of acceptance as a counter. In the OG, Bugenhagen speculates that through the summoning of Holy, the planet will decide, an act of judgment in which all that is bad will disappear. The worlds of pessimism, measured against the worlds of optimism, to sway the planet's judgment. These worlds will reunite within the livestream as Holy and Meteor clash. Sephiroth has had more time to cultivate more worlds and more dark whispers. Will Aerith be able to do enough to stop him? This uncertainty should create a little dramatic tension. Diamond Weapon will attack, and we will head to Midgar to stop Hojo. We have to stop Hojo from overloading the Sister Ray, giving Sephiroth more power or blowing up the city. The party will split into at least 2 groups. I bet we will learn that there is some kind of master switch in Shinra Tower to shut him down. One party will head to confront him, the other will head to Shinra Tower as a backup plan. Cloud, Vincent, and Red all have a score to settle with Hojo. Barret also promised he would put his fist through Hojo's face. Sid, Cait Sith, Yuffie, and Tifa will head to the Shinra Tower. Yuffie will have a desire to head to the tower in search of Sonon. Cait Sith and Sid know the facility. The Blue Falcon mentions that Chadley's story will likely be resolved upon returning to Midgar. Yuffie and Tifa will settle their score with Scarlet, whilst fighting her, Heidegger, and the Proud Clod. Barret might go to see Marlene in Sector 5. We might even cut to Aerith and Zack confronting Hojo in the Dream World. They may have to deal with him there as well, and give Aerith and Zack a chance to settle up with him. He may also be able to synergize between worlds, similar to Sephiroth Reborn, giving us a prelude of things to come. In my eyes, a logical opportunity to exploit would be for us to experience the Under the Highwind scene between 2 worlds. Give Aerith an opportunity to experience some much overdue romantic payoff. My instincts tell me that they will not pair her with Cloud. An interdimensional 3-way might be a bit weird for such a romantically pure world. Zack and Aerith in one world, Cloud and Tifa in the other, sounds very satisfying to me. Devs might not go there due to the shipping wars, but to me it makes dramatic sense. So everyone is going to get laid. Legendary sexy materia unlocked. Time to head to the Northern Crater. I presume both parties in both worlds will head north. The main party will most likely split into 3 groups. I expect to tackle the descent much like Temple of the Ancients, splitting and diverging between 4 parties across 2 worlds. I would not be surprised if the Turks and 7th Infantry lend a helping hand here. I expect we will find an elite variant of the Gigi and Christopher, either here or unlocked in the combat sim. If they don't call it Black Star Gigi or make the sun on its forehead black, I will be very disappointed. This will tie in closely with the game's themes and references. Those who understand the reference will know why I hope for this. I will explore this during my thematic evaluation. At the bottom of the northern cave, we carry Aerith's dream of saving the planet and protecting her friends with us, literally holding it in our hands. It echoes through our actions as we head down to confront Sephiroth.
Shall we mosey on over?
Let's.
Jenova has been set up throughout the R trilogy and Ever Crisis to be an ever-present threat and master manipulator. I would not be surprised to learn that the idea for the Jenova project came to Professors Gast and Hojo in their dreams, implying that she inspired Sephiroth's birth and planned to use him to infiltrate the Lifestream as a plan B from before his conception. She possibly could be the true final boss, even at odds with Sephiroth. I believe the final confrontation will again likely be a confluence of worlds. We will see everything from the final encounter of FF7 and more. Zack and Aerith will participate in bringing down Sephiroth. There may be events here that cause some to roll their eyes, but I think there is a strong chance that the devs will swing for the fences with fan service here. There may be many Sephiroths, he may drag in corrupted variants of our heroes. The more flexible rules of moving characters through the dream worlds means that just about anyone could show up here. I would not be surprised if each member of the team has at least one person from their life show up to back them here. This is a story of how we never truly die and inherit each other's legacies. We may get a literal representation of these people still being here with us. Avalanche, Bugenhagen, Seto, Dine, Angeal, Ilfana. Heck, Roach could show up, dragged into a world where Cloud has died, bringing the Buster Sword from his resting place, carrying his legacy. I would not be surprised if we see a fight with 3 or 4 Buster Swords in it. That might be a bit much, though. We may see some improvements to Supernova. There are 2 problems with the original version of it. I always had to view it as an abstraction or metaphor for Sephiroth's power, as he destroys the fucking sun and melts the planet. It should be game over. The dream worlds could be used to make this ability more literal. He could open a portal which we gaze through, witnessing Supernova in all its glory. First, they can fix the design of the planets, rather than using our real-life solar system. They could rename the planets after various summons. Then, we cut in close to a bag of chips, with a unique stamp variant on it. Kyrie is in Midgar, munching away. She turns around, horror on her face as the planet is consumed by Supernova. A burst of energy streams through the portal, striking our party. Now it makes sense, and would be quite funny. So, Safer Sephiroth is defeated, and we appear to have stopped him from merging more worlds. The confluence of worlds will begin to end. As Cait Sith predicted in Loveless, we will get our tearful farewell. This scene will no doubt be very similar to Final Fantasy X, as we say farewell to Aerith, Zack, and any more of our friends who may be here. It's not completely over. On to our final internal battle, and to the settling of everything. I don't know how we can destroy Jenova, but to defeat Sephiroth, I think we have to do something different here to break the cycle. How do we stop him from coming back again? Cloud will have diverged fate on 3 occasions by this point in the story with a swing of his blade. What if, this time, he changes fate by not swinging it? What if he pulls the final punch of Omnislash, sparing Sephiroth? The planet decides her own fate, so he may still succumb to his wounds in this world. But he will see Cloud, his peer, pulling his punch. This will create dream worlds in which Sephiroth survived. Will this redeem him? Will he act in these worlds to help Aerith tip the scales of judgment? Escaping in the Highwind, we will most likely have one final act to perform. Praying again to Holy. This is happening. Take me to the bookies. I'm betting the farm on this. We're going to cradle our controllers and pray Aerith away. At least the hand posture makes sense. It's no God of War 3 eye gouge, but it'll be fine. We will pray with Holy in hand that all of these infinite worlds containing Aerith and our friends will return to the live stream, sacrificing the possibility of a living world where we could all be together. Infinite worlds of infinite people willingly accepting their fate and sacrificing their dreams to save the planet. Like a huge multiversal Genki Dama, Sephiroth may also sacrifice his dreams and lend his aid. Holy will collide with Meteor. Infinite remaining worlds of optimism and pessimism will pour into the live stream in this final moment of judgment. The white materia fades out, our sacrifice and our acceptance of the necessity of death complete. The live stream surges up to meet Meteor. We see all our friends. I expect we will see the same summary of the game's cutscenes that we got in Remake and Rebirth. I hope these extend into a long series of silent epilogues. I hope we see the characters living out their dreams, especially any they discuss directly with Aerith, or living out any dreams she may have had. Barret raising Marlene, possibly farming in Gongaga, sobbing like a baby as she grows up and leaves home. Red exploring the wilds, possibly meeting his baby mama. Yuffie forming the YRP, getting older, being voted into office, groaning buried under a mountain of paperwork. Cait Sith entertaining families, Cid sailing the skies, Vincent lurking in the background of them all. Cloud and Tifa, perhaps with child, maybe named Aerith. Let's see them all get old. Then let's pull in on a storeroom, keepsakes and artifacts from their travels, old weapons, the Buster Sword, next to a single materia with a gentle white glow. Perhaps a single dream survived the judgment. Perhaps they all got to experience full lives together. We will never know. 500 years later, we see Red and his cubs visit Midgar. There are still people around, living in greater harmony with their world. My predictions for the story are based upon the huge amounts of information we find across the FF7 and Remake anthologies, statements from the dev teams, and guidance from the core themes of the games. This is my best logical guess at what will happen, with a little creative license and wishful thinking of my own. This is part 2 of 3, breaking down my complete explanation of the FF7R trilogy. Full video and part 1 can be found on my channel here. Part 3 will discuss the game's hidden structure and will be coming soon. Please like and subscribe for more.